Today's stories include Nintendo announced an Indie World Showcase. Ooh. Kirby and the Forgotten Lands expansion gets a big trailer, and another unfortunate round of layoffs at IGN. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up and welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. Of course, I'm your host, Tim Geddes. I'm joined today by the master of all trades, Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Good day, Tim. Master of all trades.
Pretty good, isn't it?
I'll let it grow on me a little bit.
Yeah?
I got to sit with it.
It didn't hit the way I thought it was going to hit.
Yeah, no, I got to let it simmer.
I was watching a show. I forgot what it was, but it was a show I wasn't on. And you guys were
It's
on
probably
it.
me and Greg.
I think so.
It was Games Daily when we were talking about Blessing wanting to be a master in story game Poppy, puzzle Poppy,
Yeah,
all these,
Poppy of all.
I thought I want to be a master of story games. It was more so me clapping back at Greg.
The Poppy of all trades.
Texted
Poppy of all?
Poppy of all trades. I actually like a lot.
Yeah?
I actually like more. Poppy of all trades is hilarious.
Okay, you know what? We're workshopping it, everybody. We'll get there. No, but it's funny because I heard you guys talking about the master trades and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's because I know that years ago you've been like stop doing the new face of video games, and I've mainly stopped. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, I'll slip it in there when I'm giving everybody the intro.
Yeah.
But I like the trades. So maybe Poppy of all trades. Okay.
Poppy of all trades.
Okay.
See that one? I don't know why I like it. I don't know why.
Oh, you just like me calling you Poppy, I guess. You know?
Chillington in chat says Lisa Nall Poppy, which doesn't roll off the tongue as smoothly, but again, we're approaching something. We're figuring it out. I like it though.
Oh, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Tim. How are you?
I'm doing well as well. Actually, I'm not.
No?
I'm in a really bad spot.
Oh no.
I'm 36.
Yes.
And bless. Oh man, it's starting to hit. It's starting to hit in a way that I'm like, what? Like I woke up 2 days ago and I'm like, why does my heel hurt? Like, I didn't do anything. I did literally nothing that could have caused my heel to hurt.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, it's just been like this sharp pain for the last 2 days to the point that I'm hobbling around.
Oh, it's like
pretty bad.
Wow.
I'm at the point that this is, look, I'm a piece of shit. You know that. I know that. We all know that. All right. Everyone's telling me, put some ice on it. Put some ice on it. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll give it a day. If it doesn't get better in a day, I actually said give me 72 hours.
Give me 72 hours.
Like,
you are 36.
If it doesn't get better, I'll put ice on it, okay?
Yeah.
And it's been 48 hours, and I'm throwing up the flag. Tonight, ice is going on this thing.
And you don't remember, stepping on it weird? You just woke up and it was just hurting?
Dude, I've been trying. There's no reason, nothing I did that could have caused this. There was no inciting incident. The only thing I could think of that we can't fully talk about, I did full sprint run for a shoot we did last week.
Oh,
and apparently that could have delayed damage.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because I went hard.
I could see that. Oh, that's tough.
But
36. I mean, I have had the thing now recently where I will get random back pain or whatever, but usually I'm attributing that to when I'm at the gym and I just do an exercise that I'm not used to, or I try something new and then I wake up the next day and I'm like, why did I try something new? But listen, I feel like what this means is that you join us on the soccer field.
Oh yeah,
I think you join us. I think you join us because really it is just getting your body in the shape to where you're you're used to it. You're used to running at full speed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it doesn't surprise the body.
Or counterpoint, just never run at full speed again.
Or that, or you just stay still. Yeah, you just stay put.
There's that too.
Because I do live.
You just always stand and never move.
Yes,
I do.
But also the next time before you do full sprinting, just do some stretches.
I know.
Stretch it out.
Stretching is important.
Listen,
very important.
Give me my one.
Give him the one.
I'm not stretching for at least 72 hours, okay? Then we can talk. Remember, everyone, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the video game news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, and now Spotify and Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free and a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Remember, a little housekeeping for you. We are an 11-person business all about live talk shows. Today, after this episode of Games Daily, you'll get Gamescast. That is our most anticipated games of August. We're about to be going all through every game releasing this month. There's some big ones.
Yeah.
There's some small ones, too. Exciting things all around.
One that we don't talk about enough, and I don't even remember the name of it. I think it's called Song of the Storm. It's the new game from like the
Sword
people.
of the Sea.
Sword of the. Wow, you knew exactly what I was talking
Well,
about.
because we talked about it over the weekend.
Yes, Sword of the Sea. That's the one that's coming from the devs that did the Pathless. I fucking love the Pathless when that came out. They also did a water one. I'm pretty sure that I can't remember. Chat, remind me what that game was. But like they formerly had devs that like worked on games like Journey or whatever. And
Abzu.
Yeah, Abzu. Thank you. Yes, they did Abzu as well. They have their new game coming out this month, and I love this studio. I didn't play Abzu, but I loved the Pathless. And this is their follow-up, which looks like Journey if you could skateboard in Journey.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm
we'll
into
talk
it.
about all this and more.
Yeah, we can talk about. Like, look how cool this looks, and it's out this month.
Cool.
We'll talk about this and more.
After Gamescast, Andy and Nick are streaming, so it's probably going to be Dune, but who knows? If you're a Kind of Funny member, today's Gregway's coming from Andy because Greg is out on vacation right now. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney the Psalm Twining. Today, we're brought to you by Kind of Funny in Review and how much it's been kicking ass, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Fantastic stuff. Story number 1. Nintendo announces an Indie World 2025 showcase. Super chat question for you. What are your predictions for this Nintendo Indie Showcase? The tweet reads as follows. Join us this Thursday, August 7th, that's 2 days from now, at 6 a.m. Pacific, for a new Nintendo Indie World Showcase. Tune in for roughly 15 minutes of new announcements and updates on indie games coming to Switch 2 and Switch 1.
Whoa.
Wow,
What's
15 minutes.
What's up with the 6 a.m. time?
Japan, man.
I know they've done this for a while, but I feel like usually it's like, maybe it's 6 a.m., maybe it's 2 p.m., right? I feel like they go back and forth depending on like what area of the world they're more focused on, which might say something about them.
I mean, I think that they've just kind of trended towards the 6 a.m. global time recently, like for the majority of their showcases, whether they're directs, partner showcases, or full-on Nintendo Directs and Indie Worlds and all of that.
I don't like it.
Trust me, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like
and that's
it.
That's not just me being like, oh, how dare you, cater to global, worldwide, Japan, that stuff. But more so like, I feel like Indie World specifically feels like, I guess that is the thing, is there's no perfect time.
There is no perfect time. I think there is a lot to be said about the fact that the majority of coverage of indie games comes from Western games media.
Yes.
So,
but also like
is
that's
that
Europe.
shifting? How much is that changing?
Yeah.
So it is interesting to look at the timing there, but also not surprised. I feel like they're going to continue to do this. And I hate it personally because I like reacting to these things and they make it hard. And it puts us in a situation here Kind of Funny of like, do we do the same thing that we've been doing of like watch this on a delayed reaction, or do we kind of roll the dice and make the bet that it's Indie World, it's not going to be that big of a deal? It is the first Indie World of the Switch 2. We saw what the first partner direct looked like.
Are you more or less
Switch
excited for this than you were for the partner direct? Because for some reason I'm a little bit more. Now
it's one of those catch-22s of like, that's not the right phrase to use for this, but we already know what happened.
Yeah.
We know what didn't happen there. So that means those things that we thought might be there, Hades and Hollow Knight, still might be here too. I want it clear. I'm not saying I expect them to be here. I am continuing to say they have to be somewhere. And if they're not here, what is? Just a bunch of cozy games, a bunch of farm games?
I mean,
probably.
You got PAX coming up, Indie Showcase. The Indie World, over the years, I think it's tended to be done like right before PAX season. So like games that you expect to show up there are probably going to show up here. Mina the Hollower is one that I think could make an appearance, and that's one that people are excited for. I think the reason, now that I think about it a little bit more, I think the reason why I'm more excited for this as opposed to like a partner showcase is mainly because I'm more excited to play. I'm more excited for the idea of what indies could be on the Switch versus what third party could be on the Switch. Where like third party games, of course, they're trying to like get the Elden Rings, get the Personas, get all that stuff, right? But like I've played most of those games. Whereas the indie stuff, I expect new indie stuff. I don't expect ports necessarily. And yeah, like This is 15 minutes. Apparently in, I think, Japan, it's going to be 20 minutes, which is interesting. But which also might speak to the 6 a.m. thing. But 15 minutes of indie stuff, how much of it is going to appeal to me? How much of it is going to be maybe some farming games, maybe some cozy games? But we know people love cozy games as well. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited to see what comes from this.
I mean, I think the question of how much is going to appeal to me, I think the indie showcases more than any of these showcases, for the most part, it's going to be a tough thing because by design, not all of them are going to appeal to you. Indie, I feel, does cater and does allow a lot more stretching of genres and of a more vast variety of genres to be kind of tapped into than our more traditional, like, you know, the 5 big genres that every single game falls into. And I do think indies are plentiful enough at this point, and there are enough developers and publishers on the indie side of consequence that we are starting to get to that point that, I mean, we're well past the point of kind of expecting the groups that we're going to see in indie world showcases. But there's always that question of, is there going to be a big one? There has been big ones before.
Yeah.
There's not always big ones.
Yes.
So I do think it's cool that Indie World has kind of graduated and become its own thing because, you know, I think Nintendo struggled for a long time trying to figure out the branding of its indie side of things because they had the Nindies, they had like a whole bunch of just...
Bring back Nindies.
I miss Nindies.
And so now Indie World, it's like, all right, very specifically, I think at this point we're like 6 or 7 of these into like, this is the brand for these. We kind of know what to expect. And that's a good thing. We usually get some pretty cool stuff from this. We also get a lot of... that's definitely not for me, but I'm sure it's for somebody. And I think that they've kind of curated these showcases well enough over time that those people should know to tune into this.
Yes.
You know, if you're a fan of the cozy games, if you're a fan of like
weird,
very
different
retro inspired JRPGs, like, yeah, this is probably going to be something that you should set aside time to tune into yourself because it's being catered to you.
Yeah, it's interesting going back and like looking at previous Indie World showcases and seeing what kind of announcements we get there. And I'm looking at one from November 2023. And yeah, the list of games, honestly, I don't remember most of these games. I mean, we got Shantae Advanced Risky Revolution from that one. You got Core Keeper, Howl, and then like Backpack Hero, Blade Chimera, Highland Song. And like a lot of these games I don't know, but then they closed with Outer Wilds Archaeologist Edition, which is huge, right? So like I would expect a lot of things for, hey, these are for very specific audiences, but here's like one thing or two things that might speak to everybody. What are those one or two things though, Tim?
I mean, that's a great question, Bless. Barrett's popping up.
My first one, just because you mentioned like old school inspired RPGs, I'm still waiting on Demon School, Bless.
Yeah,
I think this would be a
School.
perfect one to have here.
I think this would make a lot of sense. Have they said when? Like, this is 2025, right?
This trailer was 3 months ago, and they said summer.
Summer, okay.
So like,
and we're getting to this is like a
and this
prime.
game was supposed to come out last year originally.
This
like,
game
that's what they were
screams
saying.
PAX as well.
Yeah.
For those who don't know Demon School, it is a Persona inspired RPG that has like more tactical tile based combat to it, but has a really cool, unique art style. The characters are like pixel arty, but then the world is like more of a, I forget what they call this view, not geometric. Isometric, thank you. Like more of an isometric view with like a colorful, vibrant thing going on.
And
Looks really cool.
Before chat gets all up in arms, so we're talking like old school Persona.
Old school Persona,
like,
yes.
Persona 1 and 2 inspired very clearly.
You say that this screams PAX is the most accurate statement you've ever fucking, like this is the
This is a
poster
PAX
child game.
game.
That's a PAX ass game.
Fuck
the
yeah, dude,
the other
that's
one I
awesome.
want to shout out, just because I need it in my life, is Unbeatable. This is that rhythm indie game that we played the demo of like 4 years ago. I'm ready for this game to be out. They've been doing a lot of social stuff lately. Hopefully is ramping up to some sort of actual release date announcement.
So this is probably my most anticipated like true indie game.
Yep.
Now,
We got a lot of super chats.
Oh, I was going to ask you first, because of course it's in the headline, so we got to talk about these two games.
Yeah.
Does this close with either Hades 2 information or Silksong information?
I mean, this is the most boring answer I can give, but it's 50-50 to that. And I feel like you might be like, those games are too big for indie worlds. They're not.
No.
But also those games could be in a partner showcase or a full-on direct. Those games could be anywhere. Like those games have that Venn diagram where it's the circle. They are indie, but they're also like, there is a hunger from mainstream gamers that want those two games. So I feel like there's definitely a chance. Because again, I'm working off of the information we have that those games are targeting this year.
Yeah.
Right? To some extent.
Listen, the Xbox Ally X cannot come out and Silksong not be out.
Those are the rules. And like anything can change. And as we've seen a million times, especially with indie games, and I think these two on different sides of things, Hollow Knight, incredibly small team. And like, what have they done? Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Right? It's like they are working on this and it'll come out when it's done and all that. Hades is a different story of Hades coming out and just being this like already juggernaut Game of the Year nominated, like big deal game that, you know, this sequel is backed and anticipated in a way more similar to a bigger developer, right?
Yeah.
Than Silksong, which I think is that groundswell, like the people are behind you type of pop that it's been getting. And Silksong, I think, is has more writing on it. Like, it has to be freaking incredibly amazing. Whereas Hades 2, we already know what it is because we've played it.
Yes.
You know?
I think I put a way higher chance of Hades 2 appearing at this showcase as opposed to Silksong. Silksong is a weird one because, yes, to your point, it's targeting 2025. Months, we don't have as many months left as we keep going, right?
5.
That is just
That's 5 months remaining.
That's the law of time in physics. Like, at some point,
yes,
Hollow Knight Silksong has to be either announced for a release date or released. Mm-hmm. And the longer we go, the likelier that happens, and the less showcases are available to make that happen.
And yeah, jumping off of that too, it's like, you know, in a world where games I never would have in a million years expected to get canceled, like Wonder Woman, right? Where it's like, that's kind of crazy that a game that big would actually be canceled. And it's becoming more and more common that it's not crazy anymore.
Yeah.
Like, but a couple years ago, that would have been like, there's not a fucking chance. And to look at Hollow Knight Silksong, I still think there is no chance that game gets canceled.
Oh, 0%.
Like, that game is coming out.
Yeah.
So with that, with the amount that it's been popping up and like it's going to be playable, and it's been playable before, but the fact that they're promoting it's going to be playable with the Xbox Ally X, it's like, all right, that means it's coming, I imagine, within the next year. And they're saying this year.
Yeah.
So until they say otherwise, I believe it's this year.
I'm right there with you. Where I believe it's this year. Where is it going to be announced? For some, I think the only reason why I'm like hesitant to say it shows up this week at Nintendo Indie World is the fact that, like, out of all of the showcases, out of the years of being like Hollow Knight Silksong's going to be here, a Nintendo Indie World showcase? Like, that feels like such a random spot for that to show up. Hades 2, I believe a bit more because of the exclusivity to Switch 2 and that showing up at the Switch 2 reveal. I feel like if Nintendo has a place to put it, like, I think, not that Nintendo has control necessarily, but there's a connection there as far as Nintendo being able to drive the conversation for it coming to Switch. And so Hades 2 will either have to be here or at the next major Nintendo Direct. I don't think it shows up anywhere else as regarding a Switch 2 release date.
I agree.
And
I agree entirely. The one X factor is Game Awards. Because I feel like Hades and Supergiant have had ties with Game Awards in the past as well, and I don't think Nintendo would be mad at that type of placement, right? But I think the game's coming before Game Awards.
Yeah, have they said 2025?
I don't think they have, but like with the amount of updates and with where the game is at, to me it just feels right. Like, they've put so much content into Hades 2 already, and it's kind of just been like literally play tested and verified. Like, it's like, oh, this shit works. So I would be very surprised if Hades 2 doesn't hit this year. And if it doesn't hit this year, I think it's a strategic move of placement, of release timing, of them wanting to be like, hey, we're going to own January or February or something like that. But I don't think we're at that point. I think that the year still has enough openings and enough places for Hades 2 to freaking hit that they'll probably do that. But I'm entirely with you that Hades 2 is more likely than Hollow Knight at this event.
Yeah.
We got a couple super chats about this. Kebab says, why not combine this with the partner showcase? Because they're different things, silly.
They've done that before, though, right? I feel like we've had that before where they've combined, like, they put Indie World Showcase at the end of a different direct, or maybe even a partner showcase. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have success with that last time.
Yeah.
Maybe that is the, like, separation of, hey, we want people to know that this is its own thing.
I think that, like, that when they do that, that's when they really only have cozy games.
Oh,
you know, it's like here, it's like I do feel like there's probably like some either announcements of consequence or big things that we've been kind of waiting for, which again, we're in a unique point where there's not always big question marks for indie titles.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times with indie titles, it's either we don't know about this game until you finally know about it, and then there's a question of like, when are we going to see it again, and when's it being released?
Yes.
But like, it's rare that we're getting this level of either wanting a sequel or wanting a next project from old teams. Like, you know, it's like there's not that many teams that their logo pops up and people freak out just for any new project that they're doing. But we're getting to the point that that's becoming more and more of a thing in the indie space, which is awesome, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. Kevin O says it won't happen, but could you imagine if Blueprints, Hades 2, Silksong, and Expedition 33 all show up in the indie world?
Man,
I could see a Blueprints port.
yeah, a Blueprints port would make sense. It's the timing thing of it's just Nintendo really with these kits, with these development kits, right? Like when did people get them? What Blueprints I think got on the map really when it came out and everybody was like, "Oh, this is one of the best games of the year." When did they get into conversation with Nintendo? It's a similar thing where I did the interview with the Slow Clap director yesterday that you can check out on Gamescast. And I asked him about Switch 2. And yeah, he was also like, yeah, we just haven't gotten started yet, right? Like, we want to do that at some point. But I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these indie devs are just in a place where they just haven't gotten started yet, even though they have the desire. But it's more so a time and place thing of when you have the bandwidth and also when you get the dev kits.
Do you think there could be a Switch 1 version?
Ooh.
Because they said
yeah, Barry really did just solve it. Yeah,
yeah, like they did say Nintendo Indies for Switch 1 and Switch 2. So
yeah,
I think that's possible. Yeah,
and most of these indie games don't need necessarily like the power of the Switch 2.
Blueprints definitely doesn't.
This is where it starts getting like things like Ninja Gaiden Ragebound that just came out. That's just like, why are there weird limitations? Like, we need to figure this shit out. So that's something to look at. But Expedition 33, I feel like it leans into that. Like, I believe that game will come out on the Switch 2 at some point. I now believe it's nowhere close to right now.
I agree
think
with
that they
that.
probably do not have the dev kits even, and also like, do those developers have the means or time, especially with all the news coming out recently of them being like, yo, we're not trying to scale up.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't know.
Yeah, they're gonna have to probably take their time on it.
Yeah. I really feel like Expedition 33, more so than any game that I've loved in the past, has more potential to have a Game of the Year edition truly raise the review score for me from like an 8.5 or whatever I gave it to a 10.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like there's like clear things of like, you can improve this, you could fix this. And
I mean, they've already added some updates. Like one of my not big complaints, but one of my small complaints was like, I want a retry button.
Yeah.
I want something where I can just run the thing back without having to die. And they added that. And I'm like, oh snap. Okay, cool. Like, give you a Game of the Year edition.
Boss fights though.
I
could be wrong, but
even that like is good for me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think boss fights are really truly the situation where I'd want that the most. So
what else we got? Blueprints. I actually feel Blueprints is pretty likely. Hades and Silksong we already talked about, and then Expedition. All right. Raymond K. Hessel says, are you going to cover the THQ showcase or just lame Nintendo?
we talked about that yesterday. We covered it yesterday.
Come on, Raymond.
Raymond, what the fuck, Raymond?
We had a whole conversation about SpongeBob games and THQ kind of bringing back the AA.
I think it was literally story number 2 when we talked about every single thing announced.
Come on, Raymond.
Fucking figure it out.
Charles Jacobson said Hades 2 got its last pre-1.0 patch, so I think it'll shadow drop Thursday on Switch. Also, Tim, I need you to react to the Fortnite Power Rangers trailer. We're going to talk about the Power Rangers later.
We will.
I feel like a shadow drop would be a very bad idea. Like, I am firmly in the camp that shadow drops have a very specific time and place, and Hades 2 is not it. Hades 2 in an indie world is not it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hades 2 is the type of, especially now that people have been playing it already. It's like, that game needs a like concerted effort of, they need to be able to give reviewers enough time to play that game so that they can put out that image that is just covered in tens.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Bander SN says 5 years ago at Nintendo's 2020 Summer Indie World, Hades was shadow dropped. Hades 2 is coming this Wednesday.
No way.
Not a shadow drop though, LOL.
Was Hades really shadow dropped during that Indie World Showcase?
Well, yeah, it was a very similar thing of like it being announced at Game Awards, just like Hades 2 was.
Yeah.
And then
interesting.
there's the betas and all that stuff. But yeah, I just feel like with Hades 2, like you don't do that strat again. It's a different time. Like you're talking about the sequel.
And also, and this the sequel, and like Hades means something different now than it did when it shadow dropped before. Like you want to have a ramp to it. What's the shortest amount of time you think between announcing Hades 2 and releasing it that would make sense? I'm down for like a month. I think that's all you need, really.
Yeah. I don't know that that's ever happened.
Like a
that
quick
seems
back
like
to back.
such a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Looking at it like an October sounds right for a Hades.
I could see it. October's packed though. This October specifically, I wouldn't want it.
Packed, yeah. Yeah, in September then. 1 month.
Yeah.
I mean, it's early in August, so it's like if it's late September, then
I think that you give people enough time to review it. You then ramp up, starting to get. Man, do you get Hades 2 commercials places? Is it that kind of game? What games get commercials? I feel like I don't see video game commercials except for like.
Well, do you watch TV with commercials?
I watch like Hulu and Netflix with commercials.
Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of games do, but it's usually like the God of Wars and you know those more like mainstream things. But like Hades,
Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves.
Hades has an appeal, man. Like Hades really has this like weird. It gets its hands all over you.
It does.
You know?
God, I can't wait.
That's it for story number 1. You know, before we get to story number 2, where we talk about Kirby and his mouth, let's take a quick word from our sponsor. I can do that. This episode's brought to you by our own show, Kind of Funny in Review. It is our movie review show, and it is the best place to get all of our thoughts on all the latest in entertainment, Greg. And how has it been this year?
It's been awesome because I came back. Alien vs. Predator in review. Superman in review. Fantastic Four currently happening in review. It's been a great time, and I've been crazier than ever.
You really have. It's been banger after banger after banger of episodes of In Review. Doesn't mean the movies necessarily were.
Oh, they often
Sometimes we're talking about some all-time greats. Sometimes we're talking about some of the worst movies ever made. But no matter what, Greg is drinking his Cokes and having a good time and saying some of the craziest things you've said on Kind of Funny content ever.
That's right. If you're unfamiliar, of course, In Review is us picking a movie series, watching them all, then ranking and reviewing them all while meticulously recapping the plot and not screwing anything up.
But here's the thing. I know a lot of you are watching live probably on Kind of Funny Games Daily or Kind of Funny Gamescast. We cover video games, but we also cover movies, and we have a great time doing it. We're just best friends hanging out. So don't worry. We're getting back to Alien vs. Predator, everybody, right after we get through some of the big summer movies, but Fantastic Four, Superman, Alien vs. Predator. It's been a great time. The good times are just starting.
That's right. So right now, like, subscribe, share on your favorite podcast feed or youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, and we'll see you at the movies.
That was good.
Thank you. I mean, we stole it. It's, I think Siskel and Ebert's line.
La Baby. Story number 2, Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 trailer showcases more new Mouthful modes. Hell yeah, dude.
I forgot they called it that.
This comes from Jim Norman at Nintendo Life. Nintendo's released a brand new overview trailer for the catchily titled Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Star-Crossed World.
Jesus
and
Christ.
It's given us our first look at the new batch of Mouthful mode transformations. We first locked eyes on Springmouth way back at the game's Switch 2 reveal, and I got to play it. I was bouncing around as Springmouth Kirby. But Gearmouth and Signmouth are completely new. Gearmouth gives Kirb some sweet rolling abilities, granting him the power to stick to walls and roll across moving platforms with ease. Signmouth, meanwhile, turns the pink puffball into a makeshift sledge for top speed downhill racing. Yes, Kirby has a bobsled team. Side note, we're a little bit in love with Signmouth. Outside of these newbies, the trailer provides a bit of clarity on the game's Star-Crossed World expansion, making clear that you'll be able to dive right in after you finish the first area. It also highlights the new Coliseum mode, Ultimate Cup ZEX, which looks to provide a more challenging boss rush for those after an extra slice of difficulty. Oh no. We're also pleased to see the confirmation that the Switch 2's improved graphics and faster frame rates will be put to good use in the main game and not just the expansion. Love hearing all of that, except for the Ultimate Cup ZEX. Because like Ultimate Cup already tested my patience. That boss rush mode was pretty damn difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ZX is going to be a harder version?
Yeah. And it's just going to be even more because I imagine they're going to add all the bosses from this as well.
This motherfucker's scared of a Kirby game.
I am, bro.
This motherfucker's scared of a Kirby.
Did you do the shit, the Ultimate Cup?
No, I didn't. I just played.
I'm telling you, man. Look, it's not the fucking hardest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But it ain't easy. Sure ain't easy. Hella hype for this.
How big do you think this expansion is going to be?
Well, 3 new mouth modes, right? That kind of, I think, gives at least an idea that like there's going to be enough to use those 3 gimmicks in different ways. So I imagine that it's going to be probably the size of at least a whole world. I think that there were 6 worlds in the first game.
I don't remember.
So like
That sounds right.
1/6 of the size of that game. Like that sounds about right. Plus all this other extra stuff. You imagine there'll be like a final boss of this too.
Yeah.
I'm excited. That
Yeah.
seems like the right amount of content for me.
It's
Any
like,
excuse to go back to this game excites me, but I can't believe we're getting more. Like this seems like Tim dream come true shit.
yeah, I love that they're doing this. Like again, I hope to continue seeing these done the right way, especially like the Super Mario Party Jamboree, like reading Logan Plant's review and him talking about how a lot of the Switch 2 upgraded features aren't applicable to like the base game as far as like I think it was like frame rate and stuff like that. I was like, wait, really? Like that's how we're doing these? And so good news about Kirby and the Forgotten Land and them actually doing it the right way. I hope we see more of these announced because like I think this is a creative way to take an old game and bring it forward to a new generation. I'm still of the mind of like, if you want to do another Super Smash Brothers, right, and like you don't have the facilities to like do an ultimate like over again, or like you can't figure out what the next vision for a new Smash Brothers is, I would be totally down for a Smash Ultimate plus like 10 new characters in like a story mode. Right, like what are the expand? I know, I love you shaking your head. Give me the fucking story mode.
You can't just be like,
what do you have against the story mode?
Oh man, if the team just can't make it all, just give me some new characters and the one thing that would take the most time possible.
Listen, they did it already with Subspace Emissary. They knocked it out the park, and people lied to them and said that they didn't, but they fucking did. All right,
People
what
lied
else?
to them.
What else would you want out of that? And then they made World of Light, and it was not as good. If we're being honest, it was cool.
One thing I would never ask you to do, Bless,
Uh-huh.
ever, is to actually replay Subspace Emissary.
I'll do that right now. Are you kidding me? I've played Subspace Emissary multiple times.
Do you want me to kick Nick and Andy off the stream? We'll figure it out.
Nick and Andy off the stream. I'm playing
Because
Subspace
you
Emissary.
take away the cutscenes.
Well, that's the whole thing. Yeah,
That's the whole
I'm
thing.
playing for the cutscenes.
All right.
The cutscenes are worth the platforming.
All right.
The platforming wasn't even that bad.
I don't think you actually... you have nostalgia glasses for this in a way that I did too until I replayed it. And then I was like, you know what? I was defending something that really ain't good.
Put me to the test. Get me in a room with a fucking Wiimote. I'm gonna hold it
Some boring
sideways.
ass background, some generic ass just boxes everywhere,
And
a
what-
sticker system that you don't want to use.
And same as hanging out with Pikachu and them being friends.
Yeah, amazing.
Like come on, that's that good shit.
Yeah.
Got Lucas
The cutscenes
being
are amazing.
a coward. The cutscenes
the
are
limited
fantastic.
boss fights are awesome.
Oh yeah,
But
fighting
why was
Rayquaza.
there like 4 of them? There should have been so many more.
Remember spoilers for the ending of Subspace Emissary. Remember when Taboo shows up and you're
yeah.
like, who the fuck is that? And then
Who could beat it?
Who could beat it?
possibly
And then
beat it?
Sonic the
goddamn
fucking hedgehog.
There were some of the cutscenes in that are just the greatest things of all time. I mean, Donkey and Diddy doing the fucking cross pistols with the coconut guns with Rayquaza in the background.
Yeah.
Amazing. Obviously, Peach freaking like slowly going down as explosions are happening all around her. She has the parasol and she's all like, tee-hee, I'm fucking Peach. It's like, hell yeah, you are.
Yeah.
When we get all of the good guy ships going up against the bad guy ships and the main theme kicks in.
Yeah.
What are we talking
and the Kirby
about?
ship comes through and just fucking slices
The
through the
Blue
big ship.
Falcon freaking going, Captain Falcon jumping out, killing all the Pikmin.
Come on.
Come on, man.
One of the greatest
cutscenes
stories ever told in video
Great
games.
stories of all fucking time.
One of the greatest stories ever told in video games.
Oh, man.
It's that and Metal Gear Solid 3.
In that order.
No.
You're right. You're right.
They're equal.
Very excited about this Kirby stuff. I think this is going to get... I think this is the type of game that word of mouth
Hey.
is going to do a lot of benefits, and I think a lot of people are going to pick it up this time because they're going to be like, oh, I heard people talk about this. People like me over the last couple of years. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to play more of it. And, dude, it's the end of this year. Or end of this month.
Yeah,
we'll talk about more about it on Gamescast, I'm sure.
I appreciate people in chat as they're describing the actual events of Subspace Emissary. Lucid Dream is like, this has to be a bit. Julian Ramirez is like, is this real? Y'all got to play Subspace Emissary.
Story number 3. IGN lays off 8 staff members and 12% of its union. Same numbers there. This comes from Riley McLeod at Aftermath. Following layoffs at parent company Ziff Davis last week, the IGN Creators Guild has announced 8 layoffs at IGN today, comprising 12% of the site's bargaining unit. Today's cuts are the latest in what's become a regular occurrence at the company and come despite what the union calls, quote, several quarters in a row of year-over-year revenue increases. Several affected IGN staffers have announced their layoffs on social media, including senior features editor Matt Kim.
Crazy.
A name that I guarantee you have heard before if you've watched this show for the last couple of years. Matt Kim headed up news at IGN for a long time, and did such great work.
Yeah, like somebody who I like in my brain is synonymous with IGN, right? Is one of those names that's been there for so long and that I've read his work for so long. Crazy.
Video editor Chelsea Reed Miller, entertainment reviews editor Eric Adams, and gaming editorial events manager Rob Manuel. In a statement, the IGN Creators Guild noted that the move comes not just after recent layoffs that affected sites like CNET, Mashable, and Lifehacker, but just months after our multi-billion-dollar parent company Ziff Davis instituted a company-wide buyout that shrunk our unit numbers with the express intent of avoiding future layoffs. And it comes just a little over 1 year after 3 of our members were laid off almost immediately after our union went public. The union cited a Ziff Davis mandate to cut costs as the reasoning behind the layoffs, despite the fact that IGN Entertainment has had a tremendously successful year thus far with events like San Diego Comic-Con and Summer Game Fest related coverage. Every single person impacted today was involved in and critical to the success of those events, the union wrote.
Yeah, I know when we talk about these stories, the first reactions that people, including myself, tend to have are like, wait, that's crazy. Aren't you coming off of like a successful thing, right? Didn't you just release a successful game for IGN? I am like, man, IGN Live looked like it was way better this year than it was last year. Y'all just got done doing Comic-Con and had crazy, like, good coverage of Comic-Con and all this stuff, right? And then for this to happen right after, I know those things aren't associated, at least like in the way that you would think, or in the way they make these decisions, but it's still at the very end of it is like, damn, well, what the fuck? Like, the people that are being laid off here are the people that I know are doing good work, right? Like, I've been reading and seeing Matt Kim's work for years and years now.
I mean, gaming editorial events manager.
Yeah.
That's IGN Live, right?
Yes.
Which is and the Summer of Gaming that IGN does for surrounding Summer Game Fest and all that. And plus Summer Game Fest and Play Days and all that stuff coverage, right? That all counts as gaming editorial events, right? This sucks. It sucks that this continues to happen. It sucks that names that like Matt Kim aren't safe, right? It sucks that any names, even the ones we don't know, aren't safe.
Yeah.
But it really does feel like just lawless land. And this comes down to not IGN, but Ziff Davis. And then the pressures Ziff Davis puts on IGN, and then the decisions IGN makes to deal with it. And comes down to this really shitty position where you don't see this getting better because Ziff Davis continues to acquire similar brands. And like they last year got that entire network, right?
Yeah.
Was it Gamers Network?
Yes.
I think it was. And that results in redundancies. That results in needing to shift things around because we talk about this all the time with the acquisitions. When you acquire something for 3/4, or not even, usually it's 1/4 of the things you're actually buying, you still need to deal with the other 3/4, right? And to them, it's easier to deal with it by just kind of letting it die. And when the responsibilities for now multiple gaming brands falls on the back of IGN, the successful numbers and all that aren't enough because they need to be making X amount more to be able to make up for the purchasing of all these other establishments and media giants, or even small media websites and stuff. Like the responsibility is there to figure out what to do with all them. And I feel like that is being horribly mismanaged, if at the very least.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's in the ongoing thing of like, man, games media feels like it's been like slowly dying. Doesn't even feel accurate anymore. Like dead feels more like the word to use. But IGN, I think, has been one of the last bastions of, all right, well, this is a place that at the very least is so big that it feels like, hey, like if you want to write for write in video games media, if you want to cover video games, like IGN is kind of one of the only spots left. It's that, and then like smaller spots like a VGC, or now This Week in Video Games, right? Or there's still, say, Polygon. Polygon had huge layoffs that happened recently, right? Kotaku's been having huge layoffs. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, it makes me very sad. But best wishes to like the people that got laid off here. Like, very talented people, so I would hope they would get scooped up and find work and do all this stuff.
They won't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, is they simply won't.
Yeah.
And that fucking sucks. Like, where's Matt Kim gonna go?
A good question.
That's just like such a sad, horrible place to be. It's just like, you know, for years we would, whenever people would get laid off, have them come on Games Daily and like talk, and like at this point it's like, what are we doing? Like, who are we talking to? There's like not anywhere left because they're getting acquired by Ziff Davis and then being brought out back, put down. Like, so many of these sites are being put down, replaced by AI entirely. At least IGN is fighting back against the AI for now, until they lose that fight. But like IGN specifically right now are very, very, very anti-AI from a writer's perspective in the company. But even Ziv Davis is suing OpenAI over AI. Now, that's just them defending themselves. That's them upset that their shit's getting stolen.
Yeah,
it's not
until they
them-
get paid for it, and then they'll be okay
100%.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that really sucks because IGN has no say in that. Ziff Davis gets the say. The moment Ziff Davis says this is what it is, IGN just has to deal with it. And they can be like, we're not going to deal with it. Then guess what? They all get laid off.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here.
God.
Sucks, man. Story number 4. High-end indie publisher Lyrical Games launched with former Private Division execs. High-end indie is in quotes there. This comes from Edmund Tran at This Week in Video Games, which is Skill Up's thing.
Yes.
Very, very, very
You're trying to work them more into the show.
Love that. And shout out to Edmund as well.
Yeah.
Independent film production company Lyrical Media, How to Blow Up a Pipeline and Elevation, has announced the formation of Lyrical Games, a new publishing label focused on high-end indie games. Lyrical Games says it has 3 titles already in development, one of which is the next title from Hard Space Shipbreaker developer Blackbird Interactive. The new label is headed up by Blake Rochkind, previously head of business development at Take-Two's now defunct independent label Private Division. Rochkind is joined by a staff comprising individuals formerly of publishing houses like Devolver Digital, Humble Games, and Microsoft. Former head of production at Private Division, Roger Kurtz, also joins the company. The initiative is backed by Lyrical Media founder and CEO Alexander Black, who said in a provided statement that, quote, "We want to empower fiercely passionate game creators by bridging the gap between their art and the players who stand to be moved by it." Rochkind also shared the company's ethos in a provided statement, saying that in the high-end indie or AAA space, we believe we can offer among the best, if not the best, deal terms available right now. We're not just looking for developers, but for partners who want a meaningful say in all the ways their game will be shown to the world. Developers we work with will always have ownership of their IP, and our partnerships will always value collaboration and transparency above all else. In today's landscape, there's never been more noise, and not every developer necessarily needs a publisher. We beat Lyrical Games to be the kind of publisher they want to work with.
That's awesome. They're saying all the right things.
They're saying all the right things, and we're seeing a lot of different publishers kind of take this mentality in the space, and we're seeing a lot of, especially in the indie scene, as I was saying earlier in the stories, it's like indie games have matured to the point that indie games mean something. It's not just like, oh, there's not gigantic money behind it. There could be gigantic money behind it. There could be no money behind it, but it's more of a state of mind than it is any actual definition, as we've seen year after year as these games are being talked about.
To that point, right? Like one of the first things they mentioned here is that, they're posing themselves as like a AAA indie or III or like high-end indie publisher here. I think that speaks volumes to, one, what you can expect from them, obviously, but then also, how varied and how wide of a spectrum indie video games are, and how you kind of have to cater, if you're a publisher, cater to the kind of indie game that you want to support, or the kind of indie game that you have the specialty for. Because like I'm trying to think of an example of like a small ass indie game, right? The game we played yesterday, co-op kaiju horror cooking, that is way different than a Expedition 33. You know what I mean? That's way different than a Blueprints. That's way different from a Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. There are so many different types of games being made out there. And like when we talk about indie, we're talking about like, I don't know, maybe like 90% of video games being made. You're talking about most video games being made nowadays coming from the indie space. And so, I love seeing more of these companies pop up. I love the names that are behind this, right? Like you're talking about the former head of production at Private Division, Roger Kurtz joining the company. But then, you had names from Devolver and Humble. Like, you got to have people who know what the fuck they're doing things like this and having a vision for, all right, we're seeing a gap being made here in the space. How do we come through and do what they're talking about in this last quote here, where they talk about, we believe we can offer among the best, if not the best deal terms available right now. I hope that's true. And I hope they put their money where their mouth is and they continue to do that year over year, right? I hope this isn't a thing where they're able to do that at the start and then realize halfway through that they're like, oh, actually, we're going to change this shit.
I mean, this is lofty, right?
It's very lofty.
Like you said, they're saying all the right things, but putting this to practice, it's like it's very tough unless you have the right teams and IP and whether it's your own or licensed. Like I look at .emu and how great of a job they've done defining themselves as a publishing company, right? Where it's like, the type of project that they're going to publish, and that type of project is quality and genres that we know are going to hit, that we know have a certain sellability factor to them inherently, where it's like you're not really concerned or fearful for these games performing. We kind of know that, oh, I trust these teams. There's the IP attached to them that's going to work, and they're not taking on too many of them for now. We'll see how long that can last. But like, there are, I think, a good handful of examples of, we talk about Thunderful all the time, of like these different publishing groups that are able to have different goals than the publishing groups of yore, right? And specifically focusing more on the indie side and trying to find the right ways to cut through all the noise, because there is more noise than ever. And guess what? There's only going to be more. Like, there will never come a year that there are less video games made than the year before for the rest of time, I think.
Yeah, I think, you know, one of the original examples of what we were talking about, I think, is Devolver Digital as well, right? Of like, hey, they found a lane, they have a category of indie game that they focus in on, and also because they have a specific eye for what they deem is a Devolver Digital game, there's now a fan association for, oh, Devolver Digital's announcing a game. Oh, I gotta at least check out the trailer and see what it is, right? Or Devolver Digital's having a showcase. I'm gonna watch it because there's gonna be a game that appeals to me because it's gonna be, you know, fast-paced or edgy, or, you know, have a crazy soundtrack or this or that, right? Like, I'm somebody who's a big Devolver Digital fan when it comes to the games that they put out, and they did that from like,
I mean, they're the
early,
goats. They're the OGs.
They did that from early on.
Yeah, it's like you know, when we talk about like the rise of indie games in popularity, you got to credit Xbox Live Arcade. I feel like that Xbox and their summer of gaming and everything that they did, I truly think was what put indie games on a path towards domination where we're at now. But it was Devolver Digital that was like, all right, cool, we got it from here, you know, and kind of like set the tone for what is possible when it comes to publishing indie games. And it's just cool to see others kind of taking either the baton and running with it, or just taking inspiration to do their own thing in a different way, right? Because I feel like in opposition to the big AAA space, indie games and indie teams need to be handled very differently, because they don't have the same level of resources that others do in terms of marketing teams and PR teams and like just all the teams necessary for a game, no matter how good, to get noticed by people. Like, it doesn't just happen. Like, the word of mouth isn't just like one person plays a game and slowly that word spreads. It is a concerted effort to get the game in the hands of the right people to talk about it, people that people trust, and then it just kind of like can snowball from there. But like, that is a uphill battle, as we've seen a million times.
1000%. If tomorrow you were given the money to start your own indie label, what's the Tim Geddes category of indie game that you focus in on to publish?
I mean, Dotemu is really just doing my shit, right? It's just like
just
hey,
double that.
It's the perfect combination of, you take the IP, you take the genre, and you take the team, and you just make sure that all three of those are like, that makes sense, and then you just freaking go, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love that they just make video games, because like old school video games, because not everyone does that. And even retro inspired games, I think oftentimes they're doing too much. Like, they're trying to be like these big modern things. It's like, sometimes just do what we used to do, but with modern tech.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know. I didn't think about it. You know, Poppy of all trades games, you know, I'll probably do like a puzzle situation, right? Like, I would probably do like a lot of Portal inspired, like, hey, we want to make games that are fucking weird, where the lane would be a Blueprints, or a like a Dead Take, actually, that we just played earlier this last week. Games that are like trippy, weird, different, but have more of a focus on like fucking like puzzle solving and trying to put together a weird ass narrative that's gonna either make you cry or make you like be fearful about the like about, you know, factors of humanity, right? Like something that kind of changes you a little bit. That would be the thing. Either that, or I'd go full in on the action games. But if I had to pick a lane, I think the puzzle thing I'd be more equipped for it.
Let's get to story number 5. Power Rangers return in live action trailer for next Fortnite season. This comes from Tom Phillips at IGN. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers specifically takes center stage in Fortnite's next season. A new trailer with live action throwback vibes has revealed. Shock and awesome. The game's next major season launches this week on August 7th and sees Fortnite Battle Royale Island overtaken by bugs. Ew. Today's trailer shows various Fortnite heroes being overwhelmed by the intrepid insects in dramatic fashion until the Power Rangers turn up and save the day, or until a really big bug arrives and then the Dino Megazord turns up to really save the day. Hell yeah. Cool.
Hell yeah.
Fortnite continues to just do it all. They have the a version of the Power Rangers theme song in here. I appreciate that. Apparently you can buy that as your, I read it earlier on Twitter. I forget what the word was, but like your jam pack or something.
Oh, one of the Fortnite words?
You get songs in Fortnite?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can get the Power Rangers
You
theme
definitely
song.
get songs because you dance
sick.
this shit. Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Is this gonna make you pick up Fortnite?
No. But because here's the thing, they haven't shown the White Ranger yet. So
once they do, that'll get you to pick it up.
White Ranger's up there for me. Like there's just a certain set of characters that I'm just like, I don't give a fuck what happens. They're my guys.
What's the deal with the White Ranger?
We got Leonardo, we have White Ranger Tommy, and we have Luke Skywalker.
White Ranger was
I'm
Tommy.
in for them. Mm-hmm.
Was Tommy multiple colors?
He was green when he was bad, and then he was white when he was good.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him when he was green, and that was like it was a cool thing. But you have the Green Ranger right there. But you don't want that
Ranger.
Tommy. You want the white Tommy.
I want the white Tommy.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna get the white Tommy though. If I did, well, it'd be big news.
Huge news.
But if I wanted something much smaller, like those little bugs, where would I look?
You go to our last story, the We News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Thank you.
Was there a thing? Was there a Quantum Ranger?
Mm-hmm.
What?
That was during space.
Space? Okay. I remember the Quantum Ranger.
Yeah.
And as a kid being like, that's the coolest shit of all time.
His ranger name, human name. He wasn't human. He was alien because he was space. I think it was Zane. I always thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that was probably the first time I heard the name Zane. I was like, man.
The Red Ranger was Andros.
Andros?
Andros. Like Star Fox.
Like Star Fox.
Andros.
That's sick. That's sick as hell.
Yeah. Anyways. Retro platform Zoom Games has posted a statement worrying Grand Theft Auto, Duke Nukem, and Saints Row are at risk amid pressure to remove adult games from Steam and itch. Dustin Bailey at GamesRadar has an article breaking it down. If you want more, a little required reading there.
Yeah, put that in as like a little required reading. I try to fit it in the actual news, but it's a weird one. It is like a basically Zoom Games, right? They're a retro platform that like a retro store platform. Essentially, you can go and buy games. And they essentially said they had talks with payment processors, and based on those talks, they have fear for like games like Duke Nukem, Grand Theft Auto, and Saints Row. Barrett, what's up?
Just following up on yesterday, like when you let these right-wing groups kind of let payment processors be scared of them, you know, they use the wedge of, you know, porn games to try to, censor. And then that's just they're in to censor whatever the fuck they want and whatever they disagree with. So be wary of that stuff. Keep paying attention to that.
The last paragraph of this article mentions pressure on payment processors to pull down adult titles from digital stores has been spearheaded by a charity group called Collective Shout, which is the group Barrett's talking about, which has been around since 2010. Collective Shout previously supported efforts to get GTA 5 pulled from some Australian retailers, and efforts to kill mature games have been going back literal decades. How far this current push goes remains to be seen. Just a little filling you in about what's going on.
So for those out there who are calling the payment processors to try to fight back against this, keep calling.
Sega announced the Sonic Cross Timberland collab of the Sega Store.
Barry, can we bring up this tweet? This is important.
This is important. There he is.
There he is.
Blue laces. I appreciate that.
How many tweets or blue skies did you get tagging you in this?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And you know what? I'm very thankful.
You know what? I had a thing a few weeks ago where like I was getting kind of annoyed with like the amount of Sonic shit I started getting in my inbox/ats, and what I realized what it was is like there's a small number of people that are very rude about it. They're that are like mean about like other people.
Here's
like,
your fucking slop, you nasty boy. Like that type of shit.
Yeah, being like, oh, you fucking Sonic loser. Look, you fucking love this shit, don't you? And I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. So like, I think I started to bundle in a lot of the ats I would get. But then like, and I also think that whatever the thing was, I just didn't give a fuck about. This though, this is the good shit. This is the good shit.
Would you get these? I'm just not a Tim's guy. Like definitively, like I can't imagine putting Tim's on my feet. It's just not my shit.
Yeah, I'm also not a Tim's person. I honestly,
that is some East Coast shit, and I just don't have East Coast in me at all.
The reality of it is I wouldn't get, thank you, Barry. I wouldn't get most Sonic merch, but like,
I mean, yeah, I'm with you there.
I do
too.
appreciate that I was gonna say for some reason, we know the reason, but like Sonic merch just gets made every day. Like every day there's a new Sonic thing announced,
Which is great
and I appreciate it
for the culture.
for the culture. Yeah,
Because it means that kids forever are going to have Sonic in their lives.
yes.
Sonic has permeated popular culture. We
Could you-
did it, Bless. We won.
Could you imagine like an 8-year-old walking outside with Tim's on, with Sonic the Hedgehog
I
Tim's
can.
on?
I can.
Do kids wear Tim's?
Yeah.
Oh,
In
yeah.
New York. Not
See,
here.
I associate Tim's with like New York adults.
Yeah, but New York adults then have kids, and then they dress them like them.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
That's just how it goes.
Fair enough.
It's New York adults, and then a man-child on the West Coast
But it was.
who was originally from, the middle of the country, but is now living on the West Coast. And his name is Snowbike Mike.
He looks great, though.
Does he buy these?
What do you mean used to be from the middle of the country? What state is he from?
Colorado.
Colorado, the middle of the country?
In spirit.
Kinda.
Hold on, I'm looking up a USA map.
I don't think it geographically.
It's
but
not directly centered in the middle of the country, but it's like,
When we say middle of the country, hold on. Okay, you know what? Never mind. It's close enough.
yeah,
It's
fuck
close
you.
enough. It's close enough.
New
My bad.
Xbox Game Pass games have been announced. We have Rain World coming August 5th. Rain World's kind of cool. A little slug boy. August 7th, you got Assassin's Creed Mirage. The 12th, you get Aliens Fireteam Elite. The 14th, Nine Kings. And then standard games for August 6th, Citizen Sleeper 2, Mech Warrior 5, Lonely Mountains, Snow Riders, and Orcs Must Die, Death Trap. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedowns coming to Xbox and Nintendo Switch on August 14th. The soundtrack of Pilot Wings 64, and Pilot Wings Resort is now available on Nintendo Music.
Bangers.
Fucking let's go.
Bangers.
Put Donkey Kong Bonanza somewhere, but more importantly, let me buy Mario Kart World soundtrack.
Oh my God,
Just give me
please.
some hint that that's actually going to happen.
Please.
I don't care what I need to do. If I need to subscribe to some Japanese obscure magazine for like 3 years and then send in a freaking postcard, I'll do it. I just want to own Mario Kart World soundtrack. I want to be able to choose a song for Mario Kart World that I want to listen to and be able to listen to it like a jukebox. Can you imagine that, Bless? And I know you might just be like, Tim, just go to YouTube. Well, guess what? Guess what, motherfuckers? Not
Guess
a
what?
single person on YouTube, not a single person has every single song without just random background sounds and without random fucking rooms of the carts going by. Why? Because they have to rip it from the game. They have to rip it from people playing the game. And it's impossible to turn off these fucking NPC carts going by, going all vroom.
It's almost like Nintendo went out of their way to make sure there was no pure soundtrack
Hey,
of this
we're
game
gonna create
available.
the greatest video game soundtrack ever fucking concocted, and we're just gonna make it incredibly hard. Oh, do you want to slide down the sound effect sound so you can hear the music more?
Fuck you.
Get fucked.
It really is incredible. Like Nintendo sometimes they really are just an incredible company. For the lengths they will go to not let users have a good user experience with certain things. And they'll
insane.
make the greatest game of all time and go play it our way, bitch.
Play it our way. You
Play it our
stinky
way.
little fucks.
Blessing, you asked the question earlier of what games get, ad spots on TV. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown. Even though
No way.
we think of that as like a smaller indie game, like that's still being like a Nickelodeon IP. I was at the bar like a month ago when it was only on Steam, I think.
Wow.
And it showed up, and I was hanging out with a dude that I was randomly playing trivia with that night at the bar. And I was like, I know the guy who made that game. And he was
Hell
like,
yeah.
cool, man.
This is Oliver
Fucking
Nelson.
nerd.
I love that. I love everything about that. Hell yeah, that game having commercials, very cool. Donkey Kong also got a lot of commercials. I saw people bringing it up in the chat, and
that makes
that
sense.
is true.
That makes
I've been
sense.
seeing every time I watch a movie, which is very, very often. I go to the theater a lot. Watch Naked Gun. It's fucking hilarious. Donkey Kong commercial plays before, and Mario
Really?
Kart World plays before, and I'm like, good for you, Nintendo. I feel like that's I hear Scuttle. A lot of people talking every time those commercials play. Like, oh,
Ooh.
Switch 2.
Oh, Switch 2. Oh, a new Mario Kart. I wish I could listen to the soundtrack.
Hurdling will be available day 1 on Game Pass on August 21st. Sick. That's it.
That's it.
Wii News. Bandor Sen says Wii Plays has the RIP soundtrack still up. I want it clear. I am aware of every single RIP soundtrack from Mario Kart World at this point.
Yeah.
I Google this shit incessantly. I have multiple versions downloaded, allegedly. I don't want to admit to that fully.
Yeah.
But I want to let you know, can we find a version that has the Yoshi's Island main theme that doesn't sound compressed as all fuck? No. You can't. You can't. One day.
What state do you think is between Nevada and Colorado?
Don't do this to me. Utah.
Because if you want to know why I didn't realize Colorado is indeed in the middle of the country, I just forgot Utah exists.
Oh, I nailed it.
You
nailed
nailed
it.
it. You nailed it. Yeah,
fucking
it is
go,
Utah.
dude.
Yeah, just forgot Utah existed. I was like, oh, Colorado, that's 2 states
You
away.
can't forget the Mormon state.
You're right. My bad, Utah.
Secret lives.
My bad.
Nate the Great says, Super Chat's in. Birthday tax, just turned 30. Couldn't think of a better way to start the morning. Much love from Colorado. Happy birthday, Nate.
Happy birthday, Nate. My bad.
We appreciate you.
Hey, have fun in the middle of the country.
Alan Martinez says, birthday tax. Happy birthday, Alan. Thank you for everything. I love meeting you guys. Loved meeting you guys at the parade. Blessing. I called your black hair in video games video. You're Illmatic.
Oh, yeah, I remember you. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Alan's the freaking homie.
Shout out, Alan.
Also, bless.
Uh-huh.
Remember when I went to go see Nos perform Illmatic with a live symphony?
Yes.
Coming to San Francisco
When?
next month.
Oh, okay. I got to look into that.
Wow.
We're doing the same thing?
Same thing.
Okay.
We got Leprechaun saying, I haven't played a Kirby game since N64 because it was the babiest of baby games. Is this really like DK Bonanza level? No, it's not DK Bonanza level, but it is not a baby game. This is, if that is your issue holding you back from Kirby games, play this one.
Yes, I agree.
Because the other ones, yes, they are that. This is not that. This is way closer to a Mario 3D World experience than it is Kirby Star Allies or literally any other Kirby game.
This is unequivocally better than Kirby and the Crystal Shards or whatever it was called on 64.
Yes.
It's a baby game, but the last couple hours are worth it.
And it's not a baby game. It ain't no baby game. What's
See,
another baby game, Barrett, that you would say is equal to Kirby and the Forgotten Land?
He just drinks his water. Here's my thing. Because, like, what constitutes a baby game? Is it a game that a baby could play?
Yeah.
Because I think a baby could play Kirby. But it's the same
No.
thing where, like, you don't think
Definitively, no.
I played Kirby with
Well,
a 5-year-old
toddler.
while I was in Denver.
like, I feel like
They ain't
Ben,
beating this game.
I feel like Ben is
They ain't beating the bosses, and Ben's not beating this game.
Ben's beating the fuck out of this game.
No.
I'm going to text Greg to
No.
have Ben
I
play
mean,
this
that's
game.
the thing. Is like, we beat games when we were 5'2". That doesn't make them baby games.
Well, that's the point I'm getting to. Like, because for me, this is the same vein where we're talking about Pokemon, like the Pokemon Direct thing. And one of the conversations I had with Greg was Greg mentioning, like, well, like, aren't these for kids or whatever? And I'm like, sure, but like, I think they're also for everybody. Like, I think Kirby and the Forgotten Land is for everybody, but I also think it's for kids.
Yeah. But I feel like there has to be levels to this. I feel like some of the other Kirby games are baby games. The modern Yoshi games, those are baby games. Yoshi's Island, not a baby game. This is way closer to Yoshi's Island than it is to Yoshi's New Island. Not fuck New Island. Yoshi's Crafted World. Yoshi's Woolly World.
But like, do you think an
Yoshi's
adult?
fucking baby adventures.
But like, an adult can an adult play Woolly World and have a good time?
Not for the same reasons that they could have playing Kirby and the Forgotten Land. They can enjoy the vibes and enjoy the cuteness of it all. But
for you, it's like the game design, the gameplay. Okay, I'll accept that answer.
yeah. We have Helia's Last Hero saying, Tim and Bless, have you ever played UN Squadron, Area 88 in Japan on the Super Nintendo banger soundtrack? I have not, but I am familiar with the soundtrack because people talk about it all the time.
I'm not familiar with this. Do I got to check out the soundtrack?
It's very cool.
UN Squadron, Area 88.
It's just that badass Super Nintendo style of like, hey, let's remake a guitar, but with SNES sound font. It just sounds sick as shit. Mega Man X type stuff.
I've been listening to a lot of Sticker Bush Symphony in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I wonder why.
A lot. I wonder why.
It's so good.
It's a crazy song to like be on the SNES.
Oh yeah.
David Wise was out of his mind.
Out of his goddamn mind. Manny Bagel Boy Sanchez, my son's playing Sonic Frontiers, so he too will be a future Sonic sicko, and belated birthday tax for him from this Sunday. Can't believe he's 3 now. Happy birthday to your son, and congratulations, raising him right.
Let us know if he's beaten Kirby.
I gave my nephew when I gave my nephew a Switch for his birthday, I gave with that Sonic Forces and New Super Mario Brothers U, like the remaster thing. And I was doing that, expecting him to become a Sonic sicko. I mean, that kid loves Mario now. He loves Mario.
Wow.
I should have kept that Mario away from him. I should have just gave him the Sonic game. You know what I mean, Tim? He knows what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean, dude. Joshua G says, my dumbass 7-year-old self got stuck in Rock Tunnel when Pokemon Red came out. Didn't use Flash. A lot of us have
Okay,
been there.
first of all, you're a weakling. You can get through that rock tunnel without Flash. Come on.
It just requires dedication and a lot of light.
Because as a kid, did I go into the rock tunnel just thinking I had to navigate it? Yes, and I did it. I was fucking 7, 8 years old and I beat the rock tunnel without Flash. Fucking grow up.
Grow up,
What's what I say.
everybody. Grow up. Let's go to You're Wrong. See what happened here.
I don't know if this was sent to you wrong, but someone in the chat did say that Yoshi's Island is literally a baby game.
That is a good point, semantically. Benderson says, Tim said there was like 4 bosses in Subspace. There were actually 8 bosses, not including Master and Crazy Hand, for a total of 10.
Kevin Asek says, no way y'all beat Rock Tunnel without Flash. Y'all, it's not that hard.
It's not.
It's really not that hard.
I mean, it's annoying as fuck.
It's annoying. But when you have the dedication of an 8-year-old that just wants to play the game, like, you will find a way. Especially when you don't know that Flash is a thing.
Will Day says the Quantum Rangers from Power Rangers Time Force, not Space. My bad.
Oh,
what
man.
was that? What was the 6th Ranger in Space then? The one that had the silver suit. Was he just the Silver Ranger?
Silver Ranger. I feel like they always had that. The 6th cool Ranger. Man, let me tell you, the Quantum Ranger from Time Force. Time Force, first of all, was my shit. Quantum Ranger, cool as fuck. Wild Force was like my Power Rangers. It's late in the game, but still I loved it. They had an episode with all the Red
Forever
Rangers.
Red.
And
Most
they
iconic Power Rangers episode of all time.
all went to the moon. Shit was
About the Beetleborgs.
yeah.
It was fire.
Shit, that's a classic.
Oh, yeah.
That's a classic right there.
Yeah. That was it. We nailed it otherwise. Fun. Cool. Games Daily. Wow. Who could have thought
Who would have thought?
we'd get through a Tuesday Games Daily this effortlessly?
I hear a lot of people are saying the Tim and Bless combo on Games Daily is the one.
That's what they've been saying.
They
They've
also
been
say
saying it
that
for years.
They say
They're
about
not wrong.
the Bless and Mike combo.
They're not wrong.
And the Bless and Andy combo.
Poppy of all
They just
trades.
like me with people.
They just like combos. You know
They
what
just
I
like combos.
Yeah.
Tim and Greg combo I heard is pretty good too.
mean? Yeah, I don't know about that one.
The Mike and Roger combo.
That one's good.
I feel like we've only gotten that a couple times.
That one I'm scared of, though.
We should. I don't like
Yeah.
it.
You know what I mean?
I'm
All
glad
of us
very
are kind of
loud
funny. We
combo.
understand. Roger and Mike together, scary.
It's weird.
They're up to something. We still don't fully know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, don't we?
Do you think they hang out with each other outside of work?
Yes.
I don't know if they do.
I think Leanza's familiar enough. Like, whenever I see Leanza and Mike interact, they, like, are familiar enough with each other where I'm like, oh, yeah, y'all hang out.
Fair enough.
We'll get to the bottom of this. Before we do that, though, we're going to do the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Tell them all about the games coming out this month, August. Wow. It's already August. Crazy times.
We're here.
Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.